1974, 1971 Plymouth Duster. It was repainted in 1989 in base coat, clear coat, and a very rare original burnt tan color. And here it comes up now, ladies and gentlemen.
People often ask me about my collection, this Superbird or the Roadrunner or whatever. I'm not a bucks up guy. Actually, the Roadrunner is the first restored car I've ever bought for myself. I've always wanted a Hemi car, but we'll more on that later. But both these cars and others, I flip up into. I've been doing it since I was 16 years old. Started out with a 68 Charger that I actually parted out. Yes, a 68 Charger I parted out. But it all started in 2012 with a 67 Cougar my brother, I found for him in 1997. He had one in high school. He wanted to relive that deal. It caught fire. He gave it to me because it was in such bad shape. So I repainted it, re-restored it, and took it to Barrett-Jackson. And that became my new way of doing things. I try to take one car a year to Barrett-Jackson to flip. And up through the years, you know, I sold the Cougar. Then I had a 70 Chevelle that was my personal driver, and I'm still kind of bummed about selling it. I sold it at Mecum in Anaheim in 2013. Then in 14, I sold a 67 Chevelle that I bought off of through a friend of a friend. And then 2002 anniversary convertible Trans Am and a brown 71 340 Duster. Through flipping all those cars, I came to raising enough money to buy that Superbird. Now, I did have about 30 grand into the cars cumulatively to get to the Superbird. I paid, you know, retail value for the Superbird. It's a numbers matching, Limelight, unrestored, 70,000 mile car that I really have been chasing. I owned one in 1995. I bought one for $8,500. I drove it for 3 years and I sold it to a guy in Cuba, Missouri, which he has since restored, and it was an orange 4-speed car, beautiful. And ever since I had sold that car because I didn't have any money to do anything with it and it needed a complete restoration, I bought this one. With that being said, that brings us to this Barracuda. Actually, let's talk about the Hemi Roadrunner. So the Hemi Roadrunner is a car that I had watched on Cars Online for 2 years. It was cheap. Almost like scam level of cheap. A guy from Instagram came to my house and offered me ridiculous money for my daily driver 69 Charger. And then when he came back to buy the Charger, he offered me a lowball offer for a 70 Sport Satellite 383 Hypo that I had just restored and I was going to take to Barrett-Jackson. And that car, actually I made him pay retail for it. He ended up buying it, and that gave me enough capital to go and pursue this guy in Canada who had no email, no cell phone, no nothing. I had to call him on a landline, catch him on a Sunday night, and talk to him about the car. Then I had to find one of my buddies from Instagram, had to go to his house on a weekend to have a look at it, and took pictures for me because the guy wouldn't send me pictures. Anyways, the car was really cheap and had been for sale for a long time because he wouldn't deal with anybody. So I figured out that if by calling him on a landline, I sent him a text, that didn't work. I called him, got an answering machine. I called him a few more times, finally caught him and was able to talk to him. And he is actually a really nice guy. So I purchased the car for about half of what it was really worth. And when it got here, it was really nice. And it's a dream come true. I've always wanted a Hemi car. I had owned one in the past, but it was a complete junker. It was mounted on a 4-wheel drive frame. It was complete junk. And so this is my first Hemi car, and the car is kind of cursed, but I don't care. It's still cool. And so this is the beginning of more videos of where I take this Barracuda and finish it up, and we'll get more into that later in the next video. But I'm gonna take this Barracuda, I'm gonna end up fixing it up to my standards of a little hot rod, and then I'm going to sell it And then I'm gonna buy the next car. I had already bought this second car, which kind of goes against what I'm gonna do here. But basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn this Barracuda into a Dodge Daytona.
You're gonna put a wing on and a nose on it?
No.
Oh, dang.
No, it's not that easy. I am gonna take this car and sell it, and then take the next car, sell it, take all that money, buy the next car, sell it, and we're gonna trade up.
Oh.
We're gonna trade up until we have enough money to buy a Daytona. Now, I may have to put some capital in there with it, but I can't afford to spend $250,000 on a Daytona. I want one. I want to be in the exclusive club of dual wing cars. It's kind of like the Fabulous Five. It's kind of like the Fabulous Five Ferraris. Very few people in the world have the Fabulous Five. Well, very few people in the world have both wing cars. I'd like to be one of those people. And I've always wanted a Daytona. So this is, I'm gonna document this one. So I just walked you through all the cars, and I'm gonna share I shared some pictures in this deal. I don't think I have any video of any of the sales. And I gotta say, taking the cars to Barrett-Jackson and Mecum has been awesome. You know, in an earlier video, I chronicled taking my 71 Barracuda convertible. It was a CUDA, 71 CUDA convertible, 383 4-speed car. And I bought that car private party through a friend of a friend and ended up selling it at Mecum. That was probably my 10th car that I had sold at one of those auctions. And it's so much fun. It is very nerve-wracking, but really fun. As we start to get to nicer cars and get more money, then we'll end up doing cars that we can take to Barrett-Jackson and Mecum. But I am just a blue-collar guy. I don't have a, you know, real fancy job. I love these cars. I love working on them, and I've always known like the market value, and I've always been the guy to sketch hunt through neighborhoods and find cars in driveways. Today, finding cars in driveways is almost non-existent. Doesn't really happen anymore. Some people are still doing it, but for the most part, here in Southern California, it's been picked pretty good. So now it's more like I find stuff on Facebook Marketplace or through a friend of a friend deal, and buy, you know, like this was a friend of a friend deal. So most of what I buy is a friend of a friend deal. And anyways, so this is video one of probably 10 or 15 videos of where I take a car, fix it up, sell it, and then move up to the next one. And the next car is gonna be really cool. It's a 70 340 3-speed Duster in Limelight. And pretty cool car. I bought it off a buddy. He found it out in Lake Havasu. So that's gonna be the next car. But like I said, this is the first video, and then the next couple of videos are gonna be of this car. And I haven't been doing real good about documenting this car. But if you like what you're seeing, please remember to like, share, subscribe, comment below what you think, or tell me a story of where you flipped up into a car of your dreams, or something that was better than what you had. I'm not real big on flipping because it seems like, you know, especially if you flip something you like, you're gonna regret selling that car. Doing it to like as a living just doesn't seem to really appeal to me. I enjoy the experience of owning the cars, and I enjoy the experience of getting to the car I want. It's all just kind of a journey. And so I've done it many times over the years. I did it with my 69 Superbird 446 pack. I did it with the Superbird. I did it with the Hemi Roadrunner. I did it with my 70 Challenger TA. The Duster, I paid cash for that. I actually dumped my bank account into that car. So that one caught me by surprise. I didn't really have it in mind. So, but sometimes, you know, people will label me as a flipper, and that's fair. I am a flipper, but I do it for the fun of it, and I do it to get my collection built, not to pay my bills. And I think there's a big distinction there. So follow along. We got a lot to do to this car, and this will be a separate video.